So basically, LALUX is an insurance company in Luxembourg, and it is very renowned to provide the best services to its customers. Founded in 1920, it is one of the historic leaders in the Luxembourg insurance market, with more than 475 employees and more than 1,500 agents. Plus, it also includes 90 agencies in Luxembourg, which is quite a lot. With the know-how and the expertise provided by its large network, they knew how to answer and how to adapt to the market requirements. With the recent acquisition of DKV in Luxembourg in 2015, which was one of the country's leading health insurance markets, so in Luxembourg. Plus, LALUX also pays a lot of attention to its customers. According to a KPMG study, it has been ranked third for Lux Customer Champions in 2018 with the higher score in resolution and empathy, which highlights the fact that LALUX is very customer-oriented. About the recruitment process, before implementing Skeeled, LALUX had a traditional one. So by traditional, I mean that they used to receive hundreds of CVs by emails, even some by post. That means that they needed to analyze each of them to check if the candidates met all the minimum requirements, then to make a pre-selection, and also then to select the best one to invite them for first an interview with the HR team, and then if the candidate was qualified, it will then be invited for a face-to-face interview with the hiring manager. Regarding to the candidates who were not selected for the next step, they used to print all the CVs and to prepare an answer, a letter to each candidate, which was very time-consuming. By using this kind of recruitment process, LALUX was facing some challenges, such as the fact to use a digital tool, because first of all, job seekers are more and more looking for innovative companies, looking for and using for new technologies. And also because when you receive a lot of CVs, it is very complicated to manage all of them. So for instance, if you want to open a new job, then you do not have anymore the CVs in-house, because it's very complicated to see a past candidate, let's say. So that is why they really wanted to use a digital tool, and also to attract talents, by the way. Furthermore, another challenge was to take good hiring decision. So why? Because although our skills are very important in order to take hiring decision, it is also now crucial to also pay attention to their soft skills, because nowadays, for instance, you can find a really good candidate with a good and a strong experience, a strong background, and then you just invite them for an interview, and then you just realize that this person doesn't match with the value of the companies, for instance. So then there is a problem again. So it was very important, this point. And plus also, as a human, you cannot pay attention and the same attention equally to all candidates. That is why it was very important for them to improve their quality of decision. Next challenge. So it is to answer to all candidates, because once again, when you receive hundreds of CVs, when you have to print all of them, that you need to prepare an answer manually, it is very, very time consuming, and it is very complicated to manage. So they really wanted to also maintain their employer branding. Why? Because as I said earlier, they are very renowned in Luxembourg, and they are very customer oriented. That is why it was very high priority. And then the last point was to improve collaboration, because with more than 90 agencies in Luxembourg, and with other departments, we are also in charge of the recruitment process, for instance, with the hiring manager at the last stage of the recruitment process. So improve the collaboration between all the different agencies, different departments was also very important. So with the implementation of Skeeled, LALUX has been able to meet the challenge of being more digital and to attract new talents by providing a great experience to the candidates. In general, candidates are not used to this kind of new way to apply. So that is why by being more digital, they could also attract more talents. Plus, with the application going through the platform, so for instance, you receive all the application from LinkedIn, through the website, for other job boards. So it enabled them to reduce the amount of paper applications, but also email applications. And this was like a big point. Regarding to the challenge, so that they had regarding to the CVs already in-house, with Skeeled, LALUX has been able to, for instance, when opening a new job, to invite past candidates, thanks to the database in Skeeled. So basically, now they can get in touch with all candidates having applied for a position at LALUX, which is very useful. Plus, LALUX has also been able to save a lot of time. So now they do not need to analyze all the CVs, to check if candidates are qualified and so on, thanks to the pre-screening process. So based on artificial intelligence, which enables to do the matching between the CV and the job description. So now they can really focus on the best candidates, instead of, for instance, to go on a CV and then just realize that this person, for instance, is very good, has a strong experience, but doesn't speak the required language, for instance. So then they can really focus on the best one. Plus, they could, yes, so by focusing on the right candidates, so thanks to the personality test and the video interview, LALUX has been able to improve the quality of candidates because, for instance, with the personality test, now they can get more information about the candidates, know more about their behavior, their skills, and even, for instance, if they want to invite someone for an interview, then they know how to behave with this candidate. If it tends to be more stressed, for instance, then they know that they need to be careful with this person, which is quite good, because then you can ensure long-term hiring decisions and avoid the turnover. So which was very important. And also with the personality test, LALUX could analyze if the person was a good fit first for the work environment, but also if it was a good fit for a specific position. So in marketing, in sales, or in HR, for instance. Regarding to a video interview, so LALUX could get more information, once again, about their candidates, more about their motivations, so why they would like to integrate this company, why they would like to integrate this position. But also, and which is very important, is that thanks to the video interview, they could directly get the first impression of candidates. So in general, as they used to do the pre-screening manually, and then to invite only the best one for an interview. So basically, they only had a first impression of a small amount of candidates. And now, with the platform and with Skeeled, they are able to get the first impression to all candidates. So what's the result? The result is that now they can pay attention to maybe people that they will not consider just with the CV. So maybe you can find a candidate with maybe less experience than someone else, but with a strong personality, with strong presentation skills, and so on. So that's also very interesting. Collaboration. So LALUX has also been able to improve it, because with skilled, now they can do what they want, let's say. For instance, if they want to collaborate together, they can. If they want to share a profile with the colleagues to get their opinions, they can. If they want to rate a candidate, they can also. So first, it is very good because now they do not have to go on Gmail to look for a specific email address, to upload a PDF and then to send it. Now it is you can directly do it. It's very time saving. So that is the most important thing. And then, which is also very interesting, it is that it is GDPR compliant. So why? Because has you can do, and you can comment it, you can share it, you can get all your information about the candidate on the platform. So basically, it's a closed platform. So there is no chance that a CV or some information or data about a candidate leaves the platform, which make us very GDPR compliant. Finally, so for the last challenge, which was to answer to all candidates. So as I said, it was very time consuming to print all of them, to prepare later and so on. Now with Skilled, they can answer to all candidates basically in one click. So they do just have to select all the candidates. For instance, we're not selected for the next step. So to tick the boxes and to send them a personalized template. So now in maybe 2 minutes, maybe less, 2 seconds, in one click, you can answer to 300 candidates if you want, compared to before. Regarding to the analytics, so 1 year observation has been considered for this result. So since the past year, LALUX has opened 20 jobs, which includes different profiles, such as, for instance, web developer, lawyer, or even so insurance agents. So it really depends, and they hire 22 candidates, knowing the fact that they can hire different candidates from one position. To achieve this result, more than 600 applications were digitalized and centralized. So through the platform, no, not through the platform, through the website, job boards, and so on, which excludes 39% of spontaneous applications. Basically, with more than 600 applications, it represents around 43.5 applications per job. And nearly 250 applications were considered as not a good fit. That means that LALUX had 44% less CV to screen. That's a good point, because then they could really focus and pay the full attention to the best candidates. In general, they used to spend 3 to 5 minutes on interesting CVs, but now it's still even more than 5 minutes. You might think that it is quite long, but actually no, because when you have in front of you a very interesting profile, that you have a lot of information about this person, about his education, his experience, but that you have also the personality assessment and the video interview, then you can spend more time on them because you have all the information. That means that when you invite them for a face-to-face interview, then you do not have any surprise on this person. So what the customer has to say. Here are some feedbacks that Myriam Guerin, HR manager, and Marc Parache, head of HR, gave. So basically, Myriam is really happy with the tool because now she can take quicker decision and also get the best applicant. And as I said, with the integrated mail system, so she could really save a lot of time. And then for Marc Parache, so he really wanted to be more digital. So as he said, we needed new ways of connecting to the digital world and with a younger generation. We had to ask ourselves how we wanted to modernize our processes. That's why we chose Skilled, to be more modern and digital. So regarding to the candidates, we also get some reviews. we thought that it would be interesting to share it with you. So in general, also candidates are really happy with the tool. So for instance, in the first one, we can see that it is very easy to use, even for people with less computer skills, which is very important because some people might think that it is complicated to use and so on. No, it is not. And plus, as I said, it is very different than the classic job interview, and it is even a little fun, which is once again very good because now we can see that he had a great experience. In the second one, we can see that he found it very original, very innovative, pertinent, and personal. And then in the last one, we can see that this candidate also found this tool interesting because, as he said, you can have the opportunity to measure a person's determination. So now if you have any questions, please use the Q&A on the right side, and then Eric will answer to all your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Penelope, for presenting the case study of LALUX. So to wrap it all up, as Penelope already mentioned, please, if you have any questions concerning how LALUX implemented our tool or what impact did it have, feel free to write us your question in the Q&A section. In a few minutes, we will pick out a few questions and answer them. To wrap it all up, we can summarize that LALUX at the very beginning had a very traditional recruitment process that they were able to digitalize and modernize through the platform. They can now collaborate easier internally with the different partners, hiring managers. They were able to centralize all the recruitments through the entire country of Luxembourg for all the different agencies. They were able to improve their brand image through other things like the email system, where they really are now able to answer to every single candidate without spending too much time on it. They have insights with analytics and statistics on which publication channels work the best, what's the quality and quantity of candidates they're getting for the different positions. And they really can improve the quality of hiring by taking more better decisions based on more information they have on their candidates with this video interview, where they have a first impression of every single candidate, and the personality test, where they really also have insight on the soft skills, which in modern times really become more and more important and also in the future. So for LALUX, it was really a great success, and we are happy to really have a great relationship with them and to continue to have a great partnership with them and work with them in the future. So we have a first question here coming in. Up to what hierarchical level does LALUX use skeeled? This basically depends on the job, the different job positions they are looking for. So if there's really a higher level of profile that they are looking for, then even top managers are involved in the process. Skeeled basically allows you to invite different users and give them different permissions of which jobs they are able to see and which functionalities they are able to use. So you really can define your workflow for each position, for each single job, and invite the different people that should be involved in the recruitment process. And if a high manager is involved in the process, he has access to the platform and really can collaborate with the HR and the different recruiters through the platform. Okay, we have another question coming in. Basically, what is the duration of the implementation of such a software? How long did it take for LALUX to be ready to use the software to a maximum potential? So this question, let me start by telling you that our software is a cloud-based software and it is ready to use at any time. So when you decide to work with us, first of all, we're going to have a meeting with the main users to really define the workflow of the recruitment process. Who are the different users, who are the different hiring managers, and really do the settings of the account with the different statuses, the tags, the email templates, and so on. This usually takes around 2 hours. Then we have 1 hour of coaching and formation for the other users of the platform. But overall, it's a very intuitive and user-friendly tool. So there's no need to have big formations or coaching sessions. We provide handbooks that are usually around 5 to 10 pages, depending on which user profile you are. But with these handbooks, you have all the necessary information to start using Skeeled, and you will get used to it very, very quickly. And at any point, you have phone support, so priority support, where you can ask us any questions if you have any issues. And in order to ensure the maximum potential of the software, what we do, basically what Penelope is doing, we are visiting our customers every 3 months and go through the different processes with them, ask for their feedback, but also give the feedback on our side, how the use can even be improved and to take really the maximum out of this software. We have another question. Is there any minimum of applicants a company must receive in order Skeeled to work effectively? For example, what about SME with only a few employees and let's say only 10 applications per job? So this really depends on what you're looking for. Some companies are looking for a tool to reduce the time needed for recruitment. And those companies are looking for features like the automated screening, the bulk email system, and so on. But we also have companies as our customers, small companies with only a few employees that only look to improve the candidate experience, the employer branding, and the amount of information they have to take good hiring decisions. And even if you only have 10 applications per job, if for these 10 applications you already have a personality assessment and a first impression to the video, for example, you can take better decisions on which candidates could be a good fit also for the long run. I hope that answered your question. It's really a very flexible tool that really can be modular through your different needs. Is it a need to improve the quality? Is it a need to reduce the time needed or to make processes more efficiently? This really depends. And the software is built in a way that it can be flexible depending on your needs. Okay. We have another question. You're talking a lot about personality assessment. Is there any background required in order to understand these assessments? That's a good question. So basically our tool does the personality assessment is a two-way evaluation. One evaluation is based in relation to the job type. So is that person someone that is in marketing, in sales, in IT, in human resources? Because these people all need different personality traits in order to be great at their jobs. You always have to know there is no bad or good personality. This is only information what's more ideal or less ideal. And our tool automatically generates a report where you can read what these results mean. So you don't have to have any background in psychology or whatsoever, not even in human resources, to understand these results. They are presented in a very easy way. And at any point, we also have internally a psychology expert that is happy to help you and happy also to coach you if needed on the different aspects of our personality test. Okay, we have another question. If I understood correctly, LALUX uses Skeeled to centralize their recruitment. How does it work for the many agencies around the country? Okay, so how they do it is basically they centralize the entire recruitment through their headquarters. So all the different agencies have access to Skeeled, but it all goes first through their headquarters, where HR basically does the first selection with the information they also get from the algorithm, from the personality test, the video interview, and so on. And then they give the good candidates through the platform to the different agencies, and the agencies can give back feedback to the headquarters. So it's a very, very collaborative tool, and they have smoothened their recruitment process. Whereas before, a lot of the agencies did a little bit of their own thing. Now there's a clear and common line throughout the recruitment of the entire agencies throughout the country. We have another question here. What personality tests are being used? In-house, are they validated by Psychology Association? Yes, that's a very good point, and I can answer that right away. So our personality test is provided by a partner of ours. It's not an in-house test. It's a test that is based on long-term studies and based on the big 5 trait test in psychology. So it's a test that purely assesses personality. It has nothing to do with skills, with motivation or whatsoever. Therefore, it's really useful for long-term hiring, because if you're going to take this test today and the same test in 2 years, 95% of the results are going to be the same, because the main personality traits of a person do not change over time. And for us, when we started with Skeeled, it was very important that we had a scientifically proven personality test, because there is a huge amount of personality tests out there, and we assessed the Big 5 model as one of the most proven and one of the most based on scientific research and long-term studies. Okay, another question. Where did you actually get the candidate feedback that you showed throughout the presentation? That's a good question also. So at the end of the process, the application process, we asked the candidate for their feedback. So every candidate that applies to our platform can give feedback and rate the application process and comment it. That's a good thing for us to improve our processes constantly, to know if there's any difficulties or issues within the candidate experience, because we want to have really an experience that has no blocking factor whatsoever. Everybody should be able to apply through Skeeled. It's a mobile-friendly application process also, so you can upload your CV, do the personality test and the video interview on your mobile phone. There is no need to create an account with a password or whatsoever. It should be a very, very smooth process. And the invitation for the personality test or the video interview for the candidate is done via email and a personalized link. The candidate just clicks on the link and comes immediately to the interface to do the test or the video interview. So a very smooth process for the candidate, and we are constantly asking for their feedback in order to improve ourselves for the future. So please, if you have any final questions, answer them now. Okay, we have another question coming in. When you say video interviews, do you mean live video conferencing interviews, or do candidates submit candidacy video? It's pre-recorded video. Sorry that we weren't clear about that. It's pre-recorded videos. So the purpose of this video interview that we are talking about is really to have that first impression. As mentioned already quite often during the presentation, it's not a replacement for the real interview. It's additional information to do the first selection and to have this first impression, and maybe consider a candidate that otherwise you wouldn't have considered, because their CV might not be perfect, but the impression you get through that video can be great, and this can convince you to maybe invite that candidate to a real video interview. So how does that video interview work? The recruiter, while creating the job, has per position the option to choose if you want to have the video interview or not. So it's flexible. You don't have to have it for all the positions. And then the recruiter is asked to give us the question in advance, and the candidate can prepare for these questions. So he's going to see the questions first, and then to his convenience, he can start the recording. and he has up to 3 attempts per question from the recruiter and can choose the best attempt, because we don't want this to be a stressful experience for the candidate. And if we give them several tries, they know even if at the first try it didn't work out, they have an additional try to apply. So it's really about the first impression and no replacement for a real video interview. A lot of our clients actually use that video interview to replace the traditional cover letter, because nowadays the cover letter often is just a template from Google where a few sentences are changed, and it has lost in value. And if you ask a question in a video interview, like describe your motivation for this position at this company, you can get more information about the motivation of the candidate. Or maybe you could ask several questions in several different languages if you want to have an impression on how these people express themselves in the different required languages for that job. So there are a lot of possibilities on how to use that video, and as already mentioned, it's modular per position, and it's no need to have it for every position. Okay, so we are slowly wrapping this up and ending this webinar. Thank you very much for having us. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Penelope, for your great presentation, and hope to see you to our next webinar. As usual, we will have posts on social media where you can register yourself for our next webinar. Thank you very much for taking the time to be here with us, to listen to what we had to say, and hopefully this provided some valuable information for your company also. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any further question that wasn't answered now, or if you want to get more information about our software and what our software can do to optimize, improve, digitalize, and modernize your recruitment process. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.